Tonight, I would like to welcome you to the second annual President's Speaker Series for the Arts with our special guest, Kevin Spacey. The President's Speaker Series has been made possible by support from the offices of the President and the Provost, the Vice Provost for the Arts, and the Joseph and Robert Cornell Memorial Foundation. Thank you. Now, this event is called the President's Speaker Series for a reason, and I would like to take a moment to introduce our President, Teresa A. Sullivan. Teresa Sullivan is the University of Virginia's 8th President. She has led UVA through a period of significant progress since taking office in 2010. In fall of 2012, she launched a strategic planning effort to provide a roadmap for the university's future while gathering input from 10,000 alumni, parents, students, faculty, staff, and others. President Sullivan is a respected scholar in labor force demography, the author or co-author of 6 books and many scholarly articles. Her most recent research is focused on measuring productivity in higher education. President Sullivan came to UVA from the University of Michigan, where she was Provost and Executive Vice Provost for Academic Affairs. Prior to her work at Michigan, Ms. Sullivan was Executive Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs for the University of Texas System, a position she held from 2002 until May of 2006. She was a graduate of Michigan State University's James Madison College and earned her doctoral degree in sociology from the University of Chicago. Now, during my 6 years here at UVA, it has not gone unnoticed by me and my colleagues that President Sullivan seems to be everywhere on the grounds, and more often than not, she can be seen at a concert, a museum, or gallery opening, a screening at the film festival. Did I mention the film festival is coming up soon? Or at a play in our theaters. We know she's a strong advocate for the arts here, at home, at UVA, and beyond, and we appreciate her support. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all give a warm Wahoo welcome to President Terry Sullivan.
Thank you, Jody. I'm delighted to welcome everyone to the University of Virginia, to the John Paul Jones Arena, and to this second event in the President's Speaker Series for the Arts. We created this speaker series to put a spotlight on the arts at UVA. The speaker series is just one part of our broad, multifaceted effort to make the University of Virginia a world-class center for the fine and performing arts. It's especially important for our students to have a dynamic experience in the arts while they're here. Within our arts grounds environment, the university's arts curriculum inspires creativity, innovation, and discovery, while giving our students across all disciplines opportunities to integrate the arts into their UVA experience. As we just learned, the launch of the Arts Endowment will help make those experiences even richer. The arts experience at UVA extends to the surrounding community. Each year, we work with our community partners to offer wonderful arts events, such as the Virginia Festival of the Book, the Heritage Theater Festival. Oh, and did Jody mention the Virginia Film Festival? Yep. Which will take place next month. To this great mix of arts events, we added the President's Speaker Series for the Arts, with Tina Fey as our inaugural speaker last year. And this evening, to headline our second annual event in the series, we have one of the most distinguished actors of this generation, or any generation. Let me introduce tonight's speaker. Award-winning actor and producer Kevin Spacey has been the artistic director of the Old Vic Theatre Company in London for the past 10 years. In addition to overseeing all productions on the main stage, he's responsible for the theater's educational department and the Old Vic New Voices program for emerging talents. Mr. Spacey has appeared in many productions at the Old Vic, including The Philadelphia Story, Speed the Plow, Richard II, Inherit the Wind, and A Moon for the Misbegotten, which subsequently moved to Broadway. Mr. Spacey won the Evening Standard and Olivier Awards for Best Actor for his role in Eugene O'Neill's The Iceman Cometh, as well as a Tony Award for Best Supporting Actor in Neil Simon's Lost in Yonkers. Mr. Spacey has also starred in the Broadway and West End productions of Eugene O'Neill's Long Day's Journey into Night, opposite his mentor, Jack Lemmon. In addition to his achievements in theater, Mr. Spacey's a distinguished film actor. He has won 2 Academy Awards, one as Best Supporting Actor for his performance in The Usual Suspects, and another as Best Actor for his performance in American Beauty. Mr. Spacey currently stars in the Netflix original series, House of Cards. Portraying the charismatic and ruthless politician Francis Underwood. For his work in this role, he was nominated for a Golden Globe, an Emmy, and a Screen Actors Guild Award as Best Actor in a Drama Series. In addition to his Golden Globe nomination for House of Cards, Mr. Spacey has been nominated for a Golden Globe 6 other times for his roles in Casino Jack, Recount, The Usual Suspects, The Shipping News, American Beauty, and Beyond the Sea. Mr. Spacey's other film credits include Swimming with Sharks, 7, LA Confidential, Glengarry Glen Ross, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, The Negotiator, and Horrible Bosses. Now we will show some film clips of Kevin Spacey in action. Then we will see Kevin Spacey himself. Thank you all for coming this evening.
It's going really well already, isn't it? Good evening, students, faculty, friends, neighbors, wahoos, one and all. And thank you, President Sullivan, for that very kind introduction. You've done an incredible job here at UVA, developing a new strategic plan, completing a major fundraising campaign, and leading the charge to repair the rotunda. And amidst all of that, you've even survived a challenge to your presidency. And as a dedicated practitioner of the political long game, I do salute you. I want to thank the entire UVA community for having me here tonight, but let's just get this out of the way right now before I begin. I know I wasn't your first choice tonight. No, I know that. I was your third, right after Dave Matthews, who got his start right here in Charlottesville, and of course, Joe Harris. Still, nothing could keep me from speaking tonight, and I figured maybe the best way to keep you all engaged, keep your attention, is maybe to talk about some really juicy Hollywood stuff. I can tell you what really went down at George Clooney's wedding. But no, you're a group of high-minded intellectuals. You're not interested in that sort of crap. I can talk about my plans for my next big Broadway production, Seven, the musical. What's in the fucking box? But I don't think so. This is a top-tier institution. I could perhaps let you in on who's playing Chewbacca in the next Star Wars. But no, this is UVA. That stuff wouldn't go over well here. Maybe over at Virginia Tech, but not here, not tonight. But there were also other good reasons for me to show up here tonight. Sure, I might have a couple of Academy Awards, but I have never painted my name on the Beta Bridge. Although I was just told before I came out here that apparently a bunch of you did paint my name on the Beta Bridge. I'm honored. Yes, I have performed on the stage at Carnegie Hall with Sting and James Taylor, but I've never streaked naked across the lawn. I'll do it if President Sullivan will go with me. True, I played tennis with Andy Murray, but I have never high-fived the Guinness World Record holder for high-fiving Dean Groves. Are you out there, Dean? Come on, give me some skin. No. You see, I couldn't miss this. And by the way, I think it's really cool that UVA decided to name this arena after the bass player in Led Zeppelin, John Paul Jones. Come on! How badass is this university? Now, as the school year kicks into full gear, I thought it might be useful to take some time to impart some indispensable words of wisdom to all of you students here, or dispensable ones depending on your ability to focus after last night's drinking and carousing on the corner. Yeah. As many of you know, I'm currently starring in a television series called House of Cards, which is about a United States Congress. It's about a United States Congress dominated by a scheming, self-centered, ethically questionable group of self-promoting politicians. Obviously a completely fictional account of our current esteemed members of Congress. And the character I play on this series is called Frank Underwood. Now, some might describe him as a manipulator, others as an opportunist, but however you put it, he is clearly willing to go to any lengths to fulfill his political ambitions. In many ways, Frank is a direct descendant of some of the more Machiavellian characters I've had the pleasure to play over the years. He's got traces of Kaiser Soze's ruthlessness, Richard III's utter depravity, Buddy Ackerman and Swimming with Sharks' way with words. But I think before we consign Frank to cinema's pantheon of twisted, evil monsters, I think it's worth taking a closer look at what he has to say. In fact, I'd go so far as to argue that in between the conspiring and the murdering and the deal-making, Frank disperses some pretty good advice, especially for young folks such as yourselves. I mean, after all, despite how much your parents might keep insisting, college is no cakewalk. That worked in rehearsal, by the way, that joke. I remember those years in college quite clearly, the endless flood of assignments, the sleepless nights, the painful slog for social acceptance. Actually, I didn't go to college. But I'm determined to make it seem like we have something in common, so I'm willing to be completely full of shit for the purposes of this speech. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. And who can you count on? Not your roommate, who'd sell you out in a heartbeat for that extra closet space. Not your teachers, who cruelly and sadistically grade by the curve. Not even Miss Kathy in the Newcomb dining hall. all her cute smiles and sweet pleasantries and warm hugs, that's just an act. Who's got your backs, people? Who's looking out for you? Frank Underwood, that's who. That's right, the king of cunning, the master of mercilessness. Forget about the fact that he'd bulldoze over anyone who gets in his way. This man is a survivor. He's a battler. He's a winner. Frank Underwood is the anti-hero that you're looking for in these times of uncertainty and discovery. So hitherto, please enjoy some pearls of wisdom that I have collected from the first 2 seasons of House of Cards, or as I'm calling it, Frank Underwood's Guide to Surviving College.